Barry, undoubtedly Elon Musk's actions in making these revelations available to you has been beneficial and has advanced the conversation. It's difficult to know anybody's motivations, let alone a complex figure like Elon Musk. What's your general sense around him stepping down as CEO and that poll? Is that something you would care to comment on, mate?
I think that the small glimpse that I had from my time reporting on this story has left me very grateful that I did not have $44 billion to spend and that I did not spend it acquiring Twitter. I mean, it is just an absolutely thankless job trying to moderate the public square. And the question is, does he want to stick to his stated aim, which is to keep it that way, or is it going to transform into something else? And I think that is the big question hanging over this entire project. Is the goal to try and, was the reason that he opened the archive in order to embarrass the former regime? For sure. But I think, at his best, and that his intention was to win back trust, right? Everyone saw that certain subjects were getting suppressed. Everyone saw that the gap between, Twitter was essentially gaslighting the public. Our job was to sort of look into it and see whether or not it was true. And it was true, right? And if you're taking over a company that has lost trust with at least half of the American public, yeah, you should probably clean house, clear the decks, and all the things that he said to me on the record about what his intentions were. But then to turn around and start to boot people off of Twitter, to tell people that they can't share a link from a competitor, or they can't share a link to Linktree to promote their work, or, and there are many other examples, some of the policies, for example, on doxing seem absolutely sensible to me. Of course, you shouldn't be able to stalk people on the internet. You shouldn't be able to say, Bari Weiss is in this place right now, go get her, obviously. But I think what people are objecting to is the kind of chaotic nature of the way that these new rules are coming down, the sense that they're basically being implemented and then backfilled with a reason. And I think, if Elon Musk, or, I don't know if he's going to pay attention to the poll and actually step down. If Elon Musk or whoever the next CEO of Twitter wants to genuinely win back trust, it needs to be transparent. It needs to be consistent. There needs to be a level playing field. And it just needs to be clearly communicated to the hundreds of millions of users on Twitter.
That is where you do need genuine values and principles, because I suppose values and principles are what remains when it's inconvenient to have them, when it's at odds with your own interests, when it involves sacrifice. And that's why I continually take recourse to what have to be called spiritual ideals, in so much as they're not material, and sometimes they transcend rationalism, humanism, and even reason. It's sometimes unreasonable to have principles. Barry, it's an extraordinary privilege to talk to you. You're very, very intense, and I really like communicating with you. Yeah, you're really, really an intense person. It's good to deal with you.
I don't know if that's bad or good.
Yeah, I mean, that's a compliment. That's not like something, that's not a criticism. Intensity is a good experience. It's good to have people that communicate like that. I was captivated the entire time, and it's not easy to talk about. And I can see the appeal sometimes, we're talking about the role taken on by Musk and whoever he succeeds him, if indeed he does step down, the attraction of dogma, because sometimes dealing with complexity is so hard. Oh God, I'm just going to call myself this. I'm just going to be this, and whatever they think, I'll do that. And in a sense, that's the power of the tyranny that you've just been unpacking, is that people are just, well, let's just accept what we're bloody told. It's getting confusing out there.
I think there are two things that I sort of walk away with after these 2 weeks. Thanks for calling me intense. One is that I think that these tools may be too powerful for any individual or group. And, I don't know if that means that the solution is to treat things like Twitter like a common carrier in the way that the railroad is, or the electric company. But power this is an incredible power. And the power can be really, really corrupting. And that the roar of the crowd in the ears of Elon Musk, positive or negative, is just maybe too much for any individual. Like, I don't know if we human beings are built for that kind of roar. And I have to tell you, I mean, I gained a lot of Twitter followers in this, but the thing I'm looking most forward to over the Christmas holiday is just logging offline and getting back to real life and stepping away from the sort of like gladiatorial arena that some of these platforms have become, and touching grass, being with my baby and my wife, and getting back a little bit to reality, because I think that roar can be, for anyone of whatever political valence, just a lot to take in.
Yeah, it seems and sounds extraordinarily overwhelming, and the idea of connecting with actual reality and frankly love must be very appealing after enduring that. And when you said that about the sort of the roar of the crowd and that much accrued and centralized power, seems like a broad critique of monopolization, capitalism more generally, because once you start looking at the principle of municipality, once anybody owns energy, resources, communicative tools, it starts to present situations that are somewhat inhumane and at odds with what I would dare to call our nature. Bari, thank you so much for sharing that information and for the personal sacrifices you must have made in order to bring about this story and to get to a position to even be afforded that right.
Sacrifices. It's my job, and I'm happy to do it. And thanks for having me on.
Bari, thanks for your time. Thanks for your devotion. Thanks a lot. Cheers. There we go. Bari Weiss there. I think that was a pretty amazing interview. Intense, dense, lots of like, oh fuck, we're right. Oh my God, this is terrifying. Lots of stuff going on there.